Today, I'm going to tell you what I thought about my very first MSC sailing. I'm going to tell you what I thought about the ship, my cabin, the food, and the crew. So if that sounds interesting to you, please keep watching. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Freshly Squeezed Travels. I hope you are having a splendid day today. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kim and I am happy you stopped by. Before we dive in, if you like cruising videos, please give this a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is my second video on the MSC Divina. And by the way, someone got very upset with me in my last video because I said Divina and they said no, it's Divina. So I'm not sure which is correct because when I was on board, I swear they said Divina. But anyway, I will try to say Divina so I do not anger anyone, but I might slip up and accidentally say Divina. I'm not a perfect person. So my first video was just on the hits and the hiccups, things that I really liked about the sailing and things that I thought could have been done a little bit better. If you would like to watch that video, I will link it at the end so you can check it out. So I went on this cruise with two of my best friends, and we jokingly called it the Bad Moms Cruise because we left the dads and the kids at home. This was a 3-night sailing out of Miami. It went to Nassau and MSC's private island. Now, one of the reasons that I selected this cruise is because, number one, I really wanted to try a brand new cruise line, but it was also a really good value. We paid $700 each total, and that included our cabin, of course, food, but it also included drinks and basic Wi-Fi. So it was a great deal for 3 nights. And one of the best things about this cruise is that for some reason, they didn't upcharge you if you stayed alone in a cabin. So for $700, you could have your own cabin and they wouldn't charge you for a double. I'm not going to go into embarkation because I talked a lot about that in my previous video because there were a couple hiccups. But I did want to point out that MSC does have COVID testing facilities at Port Miami. So if you don't get your results in time, that is an option for you. The Divina is a really attractive ship and it appeared to be very well maintained. It reminded me a lot of Vegas. Some of the areas reminded me a lot of Las Vegas, kind of glamorous, kind of glitzy, and the ship is known for their Swarovski crystal staircase, which was really very impressive. One thing I really liked about the decor is that the Divina has a darker color scheme, so it kind of seemed cozy almost. A lot of the areas seemed kind of cozy, and I thought it was a nice change from the blues and greens that other cruise lines tend to use. Now, my cabin was a junior suite on deck 11, and there was something very different about this junior suite than any other cruise line that I have been on, and that is it did not have a balcony. Instead, it had a very large picture window. Now, my cabin was at the back of the ship, so it was really nice because I could look at the wake. And it does look like almost sliding glass doors, like you can step outside, but you can't. It is just a picture window. And by the way, we never saw anyone outside. I think that that deck area outside of the window is closed to passengers and crew. The cabin had a nice sitting area and a very comfortable bed, and best of all, it had a bathtub along with the shower, and the bathtub was quite large. It was really nice. The cabin also had tons of storage space. It had 2 closets and one was a huge walk-in. I would happily stay in this cabin again. It's plenty of space for 2 people and it was really comfortable. Now, moving on to food. The Divina doesn't seem to have as many dining options as other cruise ships that I've been on, but the food overall was good. I've seen some videos where people are very, very disappointed with the food, and that was not the case for us at all. We were quite satisfied. Of course, for a 3-night sailing, you don't need a lot of dining options, and we dined mainly in the buffet and in the main dining room. The Divina does have a couple specialty restaurants, but we didn't eat in any of them. I really liked the buffet. I thought that they gave us plenty of options, and as you would expect from an Italian cruise line, the pizza was phenomenal. I also loved that they had platter-sized plates in the buffet. I thought that was genius, and I wish other cruise lines would do that. It was really nice to have an extra large plate that you could load up with all the different options. We ate dinner every night in the Black Crab. That was the name of the dining room. And service was phenomenal. The servers were entertaining, they were fun, they were super friendly, and we really enjoyed going there every night. The food was also quite good. I have no complaints. We had seafood skewers one night that were excellent. One of my friends said that the Caesar salad that they had was one of the best they had ever had. And what my friends and I would do is we would tend to order a lot of different things. We'd order maybe 3 or 4 different appetizers, a few different entrees, and we would all share. And I think that's a really good way to go. You get to try a lot of different things. Now, we would start every meal with a cheese plate, and cheese plates are usually on the dessert menu on cruise lines, but you can order them for appetizers too, so just a little tip for you. The only other place we ate on board the ship was a little cafe that is located right near the shops, and they have espresso there, and they also have pastries in the morning, and then in the afternoons they would add sandwiches. One other thing, almost every bar on board has espresso machines, so definitely do not get the brewed coffee in the buffet. Instead, go to any one of the bars. There's actually a bar in the buffet with an espresso machine, and make sure you get your coffee there because it is delicious. And also, they use fresh espresso for their espresso martinis, which were quite tasty in the afternoon. I thought service overall on this ship was great. The crew was very, very friendly. As I mentioned, we loved our servers. We also loved our stateroom attendants. The bartenders were also very fun. We only had one negative interaction, and that was at the internet desk. The gentleman there was a little bit rude and a little bit condescending, but he might have just been having a bad day. But the rest of the staff was absolutely wonderful. Regarding entertainment, we didn't go to any of the shows, but on the first night of the sailing, there was a lot of live entertainment in the public areas, and most of the bars were open. That seemed to change on the second and third night. There wasn't as much live entertainment, and they closed some of the bars, I think because it was at half capacity. The ship at night seemed very, very quiet unless you went to the casino or the nightclub. There were a lot of children on this sailing, which was really interesting to me because my last 2 cruises have been on Virgin voyages, and you have to be 18 years old to go on those cruises. And it was really interesting to see the difference. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed being on an adult-only cruise until this one. The Divina has a really nice indoor-outdoor pool area, and it was completely overrun with kids most of the time because it did rain on this cruise. So we didn't spend a lot of time in that area, but there was an adult-only area on deck that you could visit. Regarding activities, we did go to the thermal suite one day. I talked a lot about this in my previous video, but just in a nutshell, it wasn't super impressive, and I didn't think it was worth the $60 for the day pass. Overall, I think the Divina is a wonderful option for a shorter cruise. I'm not sure how much I would like to be on it for a 7-night cruise. As I mentioned, a lot of the bars were closed, so you would sometimes have to walk around quite a bit to actually find a place to get a drink, and we didn't see a lot of entertainment on board except for the first night in terms of live music, and we didn't go to any of the shows. So I'm not sure how much I would like it for a 7-night sailing, but I'm definitely not saying I wouldn't like it. I just didn't stay on the ship long enough to know. My next video will be all about MSC's private island and our day there, so please subscribe if you don't want to miss that, and that will be my very, very next video. If you've been on the MSC Divina, please leave a comment below because I would love to hear about your experiences. If you'd like to talk cruising with me a bit longer, I have picked out a couple videos at the end that I think you might enjoy, and one of those, of course, is my first MSC video. Until next time, I hope you have happy and safe travels. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for watching.